All right, we're recording now. Thanks for joining us, everyone. So there's a couple of us that are co-hosting this meeting, myself, Steve Davis, the Alumni Office, and Caleb Trujillo from our Employment Relations team. We also have two students joining us, Josue and Emily. Thank you for joining us. The rest are our BYU Idaho professionals that are out working and hopefully helping our students in different areas. So some of you we know, Alessandro, it's great to see you. One of my former
Great to see you. Great to see you, Steve.
Yes, it's been a long time. How is your lovely wife?
She is great. She is killing it at Dell, and yeah, as you would expect from her.
Yep, of course. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to go through a little presentation, and we'll have some time for questions at the end. Hopefully this will be an opportunity for us to learn about how we can best help our students at BYU Idaho. All right, so Caleb, you'll help me. Caleb is a pro at this stuff. He's better than I am. He came from the world of online learning and now is with us in the Career Center. But our goal here with the Alumni Office and what we're starting is what we call the BYU Idaho Mighty Oaks Network, is to have a group of alumni that are out serving in their professions, but also having an opportunity to, number one, be role models for our students, and at the same time, being able to connect with them as mentors and in opportunities to open doors as our students seek their path after BYU Idaho, their lifelong learning and employment. And as we work through this, you're going to see kind of what we hope to build as we build this network of alumni volunteers. This is what we call our advocacy funnel, and we'll show you what we're trying to do as a university with BYU Idaho. And I'm going to make sure that my chat is open so we can keep in touch and answer questions as we go along. But we have two sides of this funnel. We have the student side and we have the alumni side. And here in the Career Center and the alumni engagement part of that, we really serve both. And our goal as we do this is to help our alumni give back to our students in ways that they can help with mentoring and connecting and networking, and also to help our students find internships, mentors, and jobs. And our goal is to kind of work through this. As we build this, though, we really are doing something that Alessandro, one of our former lead students, helped with, and that was to help us build this network of alumni that students can help us and give back to. We have a thing called Power to Become. Power to Become it used to be an event. We still have an event, but it really is kind of a culture that we're building within the Alumni Association to help our students and our alumni. For our alumni, it gives them an opportunity to show and connect with our students as primarily as role models, but as mentors, as internship providers, as possible employment opportunities. And so our alumni are there to help. They can help. But then from the student perspective, we want our students to be able to look to our alumni and say, well, I can do that too. I can work at Walmart. Sean, glad to see you join us. Sean Rorson is one of our fantastic professionals who's, I don't know, helped probably 100 people get from BYU Idaho to Walmart in Bentonville. But Carlos Carrasco at Walmart, Christopher Galbraith on Wall Street, Amy Antonelli, who's worked at Apple and Facebook, and now is CEO of a company in Utah. But our alumni being able to be an inspiration that our students can do that too. They can get to where our alumni are currently at. By the way, feel free to chime in anytime. Raise your hand, unmute your mic, talk to us. This can be fairly informal. And we're committed to keeping this about 30 minutes. Just we know how busy you are. So Power to Become is this. It's an annual conference. We used to do it every 9 months. We now do it once a year. We do have regional events that we're going to start in 2 weeks. We'll host our first regional Power to Become. We have podcasts. We have a new career center that has places for our alumni to be spotlighted. We have magazine spotlights, other things that give us a chance to show our students what our alumni are doing and what they're about. So the top part of this funnel is our identification. And our identification is who are our alumni and who are our students. From the alumni's point, we have just over 270,000 alumni, graduates about 150,000. We keep track of where our alumni are at, what they're doing, and we want to be able to correspond with them by sending stuff to them by mail, by email, and other ways. The next step of the funnel
I
is
have a quick
awareness.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Excuse my ignorance. How, like, I guess, what are the definitions of alumni versus graduate?
Okay. So at BYU Idaho, an alumni is anybody who has earned 24 or more credits.
Gotcha.
And we consider them alumni. And then we have graduates, of course, those who graduated with either an associate's degree or a bachelor's degree. So thank you for that question.
Okay, thanks.
So from the alumni perspective, the two main ways that we communicate, number one is our alumni magazine. It's going to be going out in the next 2 weeks to all of our graduates' households. So hopefully you'll be seeing that. And then we have the newsletter. The newsletter is a monthly email that goes out to about 160,000 people. And then from the student side, we have something called the Become Mighty Challenge, where we invite our students to come into the center and they do a few activities. Join BYUI Connect, our mentoring platform. They can sign up for VMOC, which is our resume review tool. Handshake is how our students are able to see job postings. And then we have our Power to Become efforts, which again is an event, but it's also more than that. It's tomorrow, we're going to have an in-person visit from one of our alumni, Darren Litchfield. He's going to be visiting our students on campus. So we have different opportunities to help our alumni connect and mentor our students in that way. Consideration is just that next level, whether it's an alumni or whether it's a student, is for our alumni and our students to be on our different platforms and attending our events. LinkedIn is one, Facebook, Twitter. Okay. Instagram, Twitter, all those different opportunities for our students and our alumni to connect with each other. The next area is what we call the network activation zone, right in the middle. It's where our alumni and our students are actually joining things that allows them to connect with and participate in the activities we're in. And the connection happens typically when people attend events and are doing things that are part of the network. That could be our career fair, our career marketplace. It could be opportunities to participate in information sessions. I know some of you that are on this call right now have actually done that. Sean is an example. Sean, I don't know if you can unmute your mic, and maybe Christopher too, for a moment. How many times have you been on campus doing?
Okay, Google, stop.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. Stopping Sophie's room speaker.
Anyway, but having alumni come back to campus to participate in these different activities. All right, so that's our connection area, whether it's information sessions, different activities that we're involved in there. The next level is our loyalty level. The loyalty level happens primarily on a tool called BYUI Connect. BYUI Connect is an online platform that allows our students and our alumni to connect with each other in mentoring and networking opportunities. Presently, we have almost just over 11,000 alumni on BYUI Connect. 32% of them have made a connection with a student, and we have just under 9,000 students that are on BYUI Connect. If you're not yet on BYUI Connect, we're going to show you in a minute the address there. We'd love to have all of you join that resource where you can mentor students. It's fairly new. The advantage of BYUI Connect is it is a resource that's used by all of CES. So you can be on BYUI Connect as a mentor, but you can also participate with BYU, Ensign College, BYU Hawaii, and the different opportunities there. So any questions so far before we talk about kind of your role? All right, that gets us to that bottom level advocacy. This is what we call the Mighty Oaks Network. If you're on this call, you're invited to be part of the network, and you've actually filled out a little survey which gets you as part of this group, where you've identified areas that you're willing to help. So far, I've had over 2,000 alumni complete the survey, and we have 1,089 presently BYU Idaho professionals that are serving in different roles and capacities. That number is actually a little bit higher than that. Well, what are we asking our professionals to do? It's what we call this is just an opportunity to represent us in your home area. Part of it would be representing us in your home company. Represent BYU Idaho within your company. The second, and all of our professionals are invited to do this, mentor students on BYUI Connect. When you completed your survey, you had opportunities to check some boxes on other things that you can help with. And these are the areas. One would be to host expeditions, to attend career fairs. Now, career fairs are more than just what happens on campus. Career fairs are a big fair that we haven't had until prior to COVID, but then smaller fairs, we have what we call the career marketplace, which happen a few times a semester. We also have department or college specific fairs. Last week we had a horticulture fair, we had an education fair. This week we're having a sales fair. We had a women in STEM activity last week. The next thing is virtual visits. Oh, and we're also going to be doing virtual fairs and regional fairs. We'll participate in virtual visits as well. Virtual visits is where you would typically zoom in to a classroom or an academic society and have an opportunity to visit with our students that way. The two new things that we've added are professional documents review and admissions support. The professional documents review is where our students can come into our center with the help of our team, and they'll identify those in the Mighty Oaks network that are willing to review a resume, review a cover letter, review a LinkedIn profile. And then the last one is admissions support. Now, admissions support might become a bigger thing. On our earlier call, we had Kevin Poletti from Walmart, who works with Christopher and with Sean and others out there, that they are, he said, hey, this would be a great spot for admissions to come out and do kind of a promotion. We've got a lot of potential students out here. Our enrollment, we have what we call the enrollment cliff coming, which is the number of 18-year-old LDS members are actually going to start declining, which has built our enrollment in the past. In the future, as that declines, we'll need to encourage more students to consider coming to BYU Idaho if we want to keep at capacity. So let's talk about how this works. Again, Kevin was on the call earlier, so we picked on him in person, but we'll pick on him now absentee. Every BYU Idaho professional who's part of the Mighty Oaks Network has access to two different kinds of people. One is Tyler Christensen, who is representing the College of Business and Communications. And Kevin, coming from that college, has that resource that he can connect with there. And then we have a regional representative, which is Caleb Trujillo, who represents the Mid-Atlantic states. So Kevin, I'm going to go ahead, Caleb. Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about kind of what your vision is there and what you can do.
So thanks for that. Thanks for that introduction, Steve. So I'm Caleb Trujillo. I am, as Steve said, I represent the Mid-Atlantic states along with a few other different departments. So we have 5 career and employment managers here in the Career Center, and each of us has a certain set or one college that we represent and work with that faculty, as well as a region within the United States. The reason that we do that is so that we're covering all of our bases, whether that's, hey, man, we want to really start to set up more employer relations in, say, Nashville or, say, Madison, Wisconsin, right? Or if it's a matter of, man, we really need to find more horticulture, agriculture, whatever the discipline or the field is, types of employers, alumni relationships, all of our bases are covered that way. So more often than not, there's going to be 2 of us working with you or in any sort of employers, alumni relations in that regard. So I'll introduce our team briefly here. You maybe already worked with a handful of them. We have Steve Zollinger, who's over College of Ag and Life Science, as well as the West Coast. Steve's going to throw a map up here in a little bit to show you what these regions in the United States actually, how they're comprised. Tyler Christensen, who has half of the College of Business and Communication. So that half is business management, communication, marketing. And then he's over all of the East Coast. Moving forward, I'm Caleb. I'm over College of Language and Letters, which that's English, history, poli-sci, geography, humanities, and philosophy. Am I forgetting any? I don't think so. I think that's all of them. Oh, international studies and languages, as well as visual and performing arts. So that's art, music, dance, theater, and then our interdisciplinary studies college as well. Then I'm over the Mid-Atlantic states. So everyone on this call I'll be working with and be involved with, as this is more of our Mid-Atlantic states regional call. Additionally, we have Mark Willis, who's with College of Business and Communication. He's more on the financial side with accounting, finance, and economics, as well as the College of Education and Human Development. And he's over the Midwest. And finally, we have Justin Hodges over the College of Physical Sciences and Engineering, and he's over the Southwest. And as we move forward here, you can see that this is really the geographical breakdown, right? We have internship services and missionaries all throughout. Any of those sort of gray dots are what we would deem alumni hotspots, where quite a few of our alumni are gathered. And in reality, we need to focus our efforts on, can we strengthen those areas and continue to work with alumni in those areas for even greater success, and bringing grads out to you, and in reality, strengthening the church in that regard as well, bringing quality church members and quality professionals out to the areas you live in.
Okay, Caleb, thank you for that. So going backwards, again, looking at every one of you, if you were in this spot, you have access to not only the alumni team, which is myself, Ben Watson, Rob Aronson, and Kathy Godfrey, but you have access to the employer side, which would be someone from your academic discipline, college, and someone from your region. And then the thing that we really could use your help on, and using Walmart as an example, if you have, and if Kevin or Christopher is on this call, Sean Roars and others, know of an internship, a full-time opportunity within your company, and it could be a school district, it could be a Fortune 100, Fortune 500 company, it could be anything, a mom and pop shop, then we would love to know of those internship opportunities and those employment opportunities for our graduates and also for our alumni. And so there's 3 places where those things, if you work through us, can be posted. One is on BYUI Connect. There's a job board there. We have a very active group on LinkedIn with about 32,000 people on it. I post everything I can on there, and a lot of times it's just right now BYU Idaho openings, but we'd love to see something from Walmart posted there or something from one of your companies. And then we have Handshake. Handshake is our job board, and we have a lot of postings there. So let us know when those opportunities are there, and we'll make sure that we get the word out to share with others. Here's looking at, this is actually a more up-to-date number that I just pulled today. We have 1,130 BYU Idaho professionals at the moment. And if you look at the areas that they can help in, 412 are interested in doing career fair help, 778 virtual visits. That also would include information sessions, either virtually or in person. Expeditions, 412. Power to Become is a little different thing. We won't talk about that today. Admissions support, 221, and 298 that would help with resume review, cover letters, job market readiness stuff. And next time, I should have made a slide on this, but let me tell you about something called the method. If you've been an alumni volunteer for any period of time, you'll know that the interactions may be sporadic and sometimes maybe a little unfulfilling. We often hear from you that what you get is a student reaching out to you and saying, hey, I've got an assignment. I'm supposed to interview an alumnus. It's due tomorrow. I need you to answer these 10 questions for me. And then the student gets the 10 questions answered. You might have put your heart and soul into that response. The student goes their way, you go your way. Oftentimes the students still say thank you. So we have something that we're creating called the method. And the method is a 4-step process that has little activities within each one that's going to make our students more prepared to connect with you and any other employer. It includes finding out who and where the employers are, what they're interested in, how to do informational interviews, how to connect with alumni, how to respond to them. And it's really fantastic. And so I hope that as you go forward, you'll see and experience a better experience with the students who are reaching out to you. So let's just talk briefly about each of these areas that our professionals can help. Number one is represent us within your organization. All of you, when you signed up or recently, would have received in the mail a pennant, simple thing that you can hang up in your office, workplace. Each year you're invited to order something on us that could either be a dress shirt, a polo. You can do a water bottle, you can do a kind of a briefcase satchel. Just so you can at times at work wear that BYU Idaho shirt or have that water bottle on your desk or carry that briefcase in, so people know, oh, they're the BYU Idaho people that work here. And the big part of representing BYU Idaho within our company, your company, is let us know again of those opportunities. The next thing is to be on BYUI Connect. And if you're not on BYUI Connect, we'd invite you to sign up. It's just ces.peoplegrove.com. It gives you an opportunity to connect with our students there. All of our professionals are able to do that all the time. The next one are things that people have signed up for. Don't know why that wasn't working. Here we go. The first one is expeditions. Now, I worry about the couple hundred plus of you, or the however many it was, the hundreds of you that said, I want to help with expeditions. We haven't been able to do expeditions since before COVID. We're actually going to do our next expedition to Dallas, Fort Worth in the next month. So we're going to start doing these again. These are probably probably 10 to 15 a year, depending on as we get rolling, where someone from our office, a couple from our office, along with some faculty from the university, will take a group of students and they'll go to certain geographic areas. I've been on a few of these. I've been to Dallas and Denver and Bentonville and others. Those are going to start happening again. So stay tuned on those. The next one that we'd love to have your help is with career fairs, on campus, regional, or virtual. Right now we have the career marketplace that we have about 8 per semester. We do them every Thursday from 1 to 4. Our last one for this semester is tomorrow. 300 or 400 kids coming through, 10 to 15 companies in our site. Regional, we've done an pilot with a regional P2P in New England. Caleb, are you thinking about regional? Have you talked to Ben? Is that on your radar yet?
We'd like to. Yeah, we certainly would like to. Nothing super concrete in the works yet. But yeah.
We're experimenting with it. And some of our career fairs, we had one recently, one that's would actually fall under Caleb's area, which would be in kind of the political science, government affairs, government jobs that we did virtually. Lots of kids participating, a lot of our alumni professionals participating remotely as well. The next one is what we'd like to really build on. That's virtual business. It's the easiest and the most affordable way that we can get our alumni in front of our students. And that's working with our academic societies. We have Josue and Emily on this call. They work for us. They both represent different colleges. Their goal would be to be getting to know all of our academic societies, and then saying and usually it's different times, but often our forum hour, which is Thursday at 11:30, saying, can we get this alumnus in front of this group of students for a few minutes, half an hour or more, where they can see and connect with you, answer questions. If you're on campus, we'd love to have this be in person, in front of a class, in front of a group of students within our facility, an opportunity just for you to connect with students that way. The next one is job market readiness. This is brand new, and that gives you an opportunity if you're interested into reviewing resumes of our students, our cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, other things. And the last one would be just encourage students to come. Right now, again, our enrollment's a little down this year compared to previous years. it will continue to decline unless we can encourage more students to consider coming out to Rexburg. Pathway has proven to be a pretty good pipeline of students coming from a pathway experience, which is remote at home, to coming to on campus. So just a couple of success stories, then we'll see if you have any.
Steven,
Yeah, go ahead.
if I may, do you know why why it's declining, like the number of students coming to BYUI?
Yeah, thank you for that. It's just there's the LDS 18-year-old population is smaller now than it was. It actually peaks next year in 2025 it peaks, right? Now our enrollment's down a little bit the last year because BYU increased their cap by 5,000. So they went from 30,000 to 35,000 students. So they've taken a bigger share. But starting from, as President Kimby Clark used to say, all of the for the next 18 years, all of these, they're all here. They're on planet Earth, right? We know the LDS population of our children, right? And it declines fairly significantly for the next 17, 18 years because while the church is growing, we have smaller families. This generation, instead of having, 5 kids, they're having 3. The seminary enrollment is also declining, and the seminary enrollment is kind of our primary base. And that seminary enrollment has started to decline before the 18-year-old population is going to decline. That was a long answer, Virginia. I'm sorry. Did that answer your question?
It does, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. So just a couple of success stories, and this is where you guys can help out. And if I'd have known we'd had a whole bunch of Walmart people on, or at least a couple, I would use Walmart as an example. But Alicia Stratton was a student at BYU Idaho in 2008 in computer information systems. When she graduated, she got a job with USAA in San Antonio. One of the first things that she did, and we encourage all of you to do that, is she joined BYUI Connect. So her profile is there. She also started coming out to career fairs. She came out and spoke at Women in STEM. She sent us our picture. We'd love to have all of your pictures in the workplace because we can, if you come into our center, we have kiosks and pictures everywhere going up. We have giant screens where people can see that, yeah, there's Alicia working at USAA. She spoke at Power to Become, the last Power to Come we had before COVID. And just a success story here for her. In 2008, when she was a student or graduate, she was one of 7 BYU Idaho alumni working at USAA. And through her work and others, we now have 107 BYU Idaho alumni working at USAA, primarily in San Antonio, Texas. Toyota North America is another success story. Justin Hodges came to us and reached out to the service missionaries. I'm getting confused. I'm moving windows around. We had a couple of missionaries there, brother and sister Mulestein, and he reached out to them. They were serving in Los Angeles. They found a BYU Idaho alumnus that was working there, Michael Zimmerman, and they went out and did what we call a fishing trip. Fishing trip is we visit the company, and Caleb will be doing a lot of these, and just saying, do you have interest and how can we help you? Well, Michael Zimmerman helped Scott Caldwell get hired on in 2008. And that just kind of opened the floodgates. And so now we just have a group of alumni working at Toyota North America. Right now, 37 employees. And Toyota North America has rated us as one of their top 5 campuses that they will recruit from. And our automotive technology program is fantastic. Mark Willis, who represents the Midwest, did a fishing trip to Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas, just Kansas City, both sides of that state line. And before his trip, we had 9 members of the Mighty Oaks Network within that city. So we reached out to alumni within different companies that were living in that area. We said, hey, would you consider being part of this network? By the time he arrived, we had 50 plus And they were able to meet some great companies, were able to get some fantastic alumni. They're in really good positions to help us. They had a little alumni gathering there with about 120 people. I think they ran out of pizza, had to go buy more. And it's just been a great benefit for us, and that area is kind of growing. So much so that we're going to have use Kansas City as a pilot for our first regional Power to Become. Now, if you had a Power to Become event on campus, we have 2,500 students, alumni, community members listening to 4 or 5 fantastic alumni speakers, have a little entertainment, with the goal of encouraging our students to do 3 things: discover their passion, learn how to network, tell their story, and how to network effectively, and to be introduced to the Career Center. Well, now we're going to take that little show on the road. This is Bill Crawford, one of our speakers from the last Power to Become, a former Navy Top Gun pilot, entrepreneur now actually a business professor at BYU, Idaho. We're going to go to Kansas City. We have a center there that we're going to meet at, and we're going to probably have about 130 alumni, some students, off-track intern students, prospective students, our group of professionals in Kansas City. And we're going to spend an evening together. We're going to eat. We're going to give a university update. We're going to hear from Bill to inspire and get our alumni connected in that area so they can serve each other and serve the university, but primarily by serving our students. All right, well, that's what we had, Caleb and I. Caleb, anything I missed that you can think of?
No, the only thing that I would add is we're starting to see a trend in that, in the past, we have had some focuses on, say, bigger markets, right? Your New Yorks, your LAs. Of course, there's always opportunity within the Wasatch Front. But what we're finding is we can get all sorts of opportunities and jobs in front of students in those bigger markets, particularly, the New Yorks, the LAs, but they don't want to stay, right? They are attracted to the smaller cities, the smaller than New Yorks and LAs. They're attracted to quality companies, right? But where they can raise a family, say in a little easier, say in Nashville, say in Bentonville, right? All of you probably see that in your own lives. So these are little areas of, especially in this mid-Atlantic region that we have, we know there's just little pockets of areas that we know are great for putting in our future professionals, raising families, strengthening the church. And we're excited to continue to work with you in this regional and college-based model.
So thank you. One of the things that we just need you to do once in a while, and we sent out an invite before, and we'll send out a reminder to everybody from this region with a copy of this presentation. Thankfully, you guys won't need to do that, but we'll have a link to this survey. We have a QR code if you want to snap a picture of this now or use your phone to get to it. Just periodically, we'd love to have you update your information. And the update would be, which of these areas do you want to help us with, whether it's expeditions, whether it's virtual visits, whether it's career fair, job market readiness, admission support. Have you had a job change in the last 3 months or 6 months? Do you still want to continue serving or being part of this network that's growing? We just need to have you give us an update so we know exactly the areas that you most want to help with, and we just want to let you know that we appreciate you. So do any of you have any questions that you have of Caleb, myself, about what we're trying to do with this network?
So I don't, this is Neil, Neil Basinger. I don't have any questions about that. I do have a question about how I get logged into or connected to the network. I have no idea what my school username and password were way back in the day. I don't know what recovery email I used because apparently none of mine work. So how do I actually connect to BYU and BYU Idaho?
On BYUI Connect, you'll have the option to sign in with your LinkedIn information. And I would just do it that way.
Okay.
So it's still the same. We get you on, we get you connected, we get you findable by our students. And so when you get to that point, you'll see sign in with your BYU Idaho user information, or you can do your LinkedIn information. I just do the LinkedIn part.
Got it. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, and
So-
we could find that, but if you're like me, I attended too long ago. So
Yeah.
okay,
It
thank
would
you.
take me a long time to find it.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So along those lines, Steve, does our profile update with LinkedIn or is not really linked?
Say that again, Manny.
Does like our profile, do we need to manually go and update it, or does it feed from LinkedIn?
Feed.
When you initially sign up, it will port your LinkedIn information over. If information changes, then you'll need to go back in and re-update it. It's not synced.
Thanks. That was my question.
All right. Okay, Manny, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you for those. Oh, Luke's hiding out there too. Good to see you, Luke. One of our other great students with Emily. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, please go ahead.
I do have one quick question. I know at least in the Chicago area, there's a lot of, not a lot, but there's at least a few, maybe there have been at least, grad students that are at some of the Chicago schools.
Mhm.
Is there interest in like potentially visiting those former students as well? Like, I'm just wondering from the graduate school perspective, like what efforts
Yeah.
are being placed.
Yeah, so we want to help with both, right? So when we look at kind of our mission, is help students find mentors, internships, and jobs. But we know there's a big chunk of our students that are saying, no, I'm going to go from BYU Idaho to dental school or to podiatry school or to, any one of those, and where we can help with that would be the mentoring part, right? We're not going to be able to help them get accepted to the school, but we can connect them with mentors that are within those schools and resources that'll help them get there and have more success.
We have had in the past as well. We're starting to do, these are little, oh, we do both. We do in on-campus and virtual grad school fairs, at least twice a year, where we invite as many grad schools as who would like to come as possible to attend and present all of the types of opportunities they have. And that's nice because it reaches all of the different colleges that we work with. So we do work with the grad schools in that way, but like Steve said, not necessarily in the, hey, accept our students, but more of a, hey, get in front of our students, see what they're all about, present to them, and they go forward from there.
Okay, thank you for that question. All right, any more? Well, thank you all, and we appreciate your time. And we appreciate all that you do for us. Our alumni group is fantastic. We feel like we finally have the resources to stay connected with you, and we're finally getting the training materials that'll make it so when our students connect with you, they'll be connecting with you more often, but we also hope that they'll be connecting with you in more professional, prepared ways that will lead to opportunities for them. And they'll turn around and become part of our Mighty Oaks network again and help with what you guys are hoping to help us with. So, all right, thank you for the time, and we hope you have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.